Hello viewers, in this video we'll verify this following formulas. So this is the sum and difference formula for cotan. So we'll start with question A is to verify this one. Thus quote A plus B is equals to quote A quote B minus 1 over quote B plus quote A. Now to solve this one, all we need to remember is we know that if you have cotan of A, so this is A, if you have cotan of A plus B, we can rewrite it in terms of cosine and sine. So this is cosine of A plus B. Then we divide by sine of A plus B. Okay. Then we will now use the sum formula for cosine, which is nothing but cosine of A cosine of B. And since this is plus, we will have a minus sine A sine B. Then we will divide by, now we will use the sum formula for sine, and this will be sine A cosine B plus cosine A sine B. Now, if you look at the formula we want to prove, look at this side, where you can see that here is 1. So we ask ourselves, how can we get 1 here? It's simply by dividing each term by sine A sine B. So that's what we'll do. So we'll divide each term by sine A sine B. So the first term, cosine A cosine B, we will divide it by sine A sine B minus, so I'm dealing with the numerator now. So here we'll have sine A sine B. We'll also divide by sine A sine B. Then divide. Also here, the denominator will do the same. So what you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator. So we'll divide sine A cosine B, also divide by sine A sine B. This will not change the equation, still valid. And here also will be cosine. No, here is plus. So in the denominator is plus. Don't forget this is plus. So we're dividing this term now. Cosine A sine B. So we'll divide by sine A sine B. All right. So if you look at this, this will divide this to give us 1. Then if you look at the first term here, if you take these two terms together, we will get what? We will get cotan of A, right? So this will give us cotan of A. Then if you take this one together, this and this will give us cotan of B, right? Then minus, this already is 1, so you have minus 1 divide by. Now, if you go to the denominator, you see this is sine and sine will cancel out. So you have only cosine B over sine B, which will give us cotan of B. Then we have plus. Here also, you see that what will cancel? Sine and sine will cancel out. These two will cancel. So we're left with cosine, the cosine A over sine A, which is just cotan of A. And I think we are done. So we've shown that cotan A plus B is equals to cotan A cotan B minus 1, then divide by cotan B plus cosine of cotan of A. All right. So the second one is when we are dealing with the difference. So let's go for that. So if we're dealing with the difference, that's the B part. We have cotan of what? A, we start with cotan of A minus B. So the same procedure, we can write this as cosine of A, cosine of A minus B. divide by sine A minus B. So now we will use the difference formula for cosine and sine. So in the numerator, you will have cosine of A, cosine of B. Since this is negative, it becomes plus sine A, then sine B, divide by the denominator. It will be sine A cosine B minus what? Is going to be minus cosine of A and sine of B. All right. So here, what else can we do? We do the same thing. We will divide here everything by both the numerator and the denominator. We will divide by sine A, in this case sine A sine B, because the goal is for us to have one here. So here will be sine A sine B, also divide by sine A sine B, divide by, now the denominator here. So I think here is plus, so the numerator is plus. Yes. So for the denominator, we'll do the same. We will divide by sine A cosine B. You divide it by sine A sine B, but now it's minus. Then you have cosine A sine B. We divide by sine A sine B. All right. So here you can see this and this will give us 1. And if we look at this first term here, this is cosine A over sine A, which will give us cotan of A. Then cosine B sine B will give us cotan of B. Then we have plus 1. Then over here, the same way, sine will go with sine. So you have cosine over cosine B over sine B, which will be cotan of B. And here will be minus. Here as well, sine B will go with sine B. So you have cosine A over sine A, which is cotan of A. So what have we shown? We've shown that cotan of A minus B is equals to this much. So this is the difference formula for the sum of cotan. This is the, then this one, it's, so what is the difference? The difference that here you have minus 1 in the numerator. Here you have what? Plus 1. And also for the difference in the denominator, here you have minus. But for the addition, here you have plus. So I think, yes. So let's see. Okay, so proved. So this, it's, yeah, I think everything is fine. So thank you for watching. If you have any question, you can put it in the comment section.